Happy Saturday, everyone. This is Sean from Triggered Precision Machine, bringing to you guys episode number 6 of the Breakdown series. For the last 5 videos, we've been looking at a variety of rifles used for different purposes. So today we're going to look at a few pistols. For the last 20 years, I've done a lot of pistol shooting in different environments and situations. This has given me the opportunity to really fine-tune what I like and dislike in a pistol. And I also have different uses and needs for this tool, which brings up a great point. The pistol is just a tool and can only be as effective as the user. This is echoed all over the internet. Training is important. That doesn't mean you have to go out and shoot every day with the goal of becoming a USPSA Grandmaster, but it is absolutely imperative that in some way, shape, or form you get some sort of good base level of training. And this can be anything from your local concealed carry classes to some of the more advanced classes hosted by law enforcement military instructors, or even competitive shooting. Even though these are just tools, there's a huge amount of responsibility attached to that. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get into it. Alright guys, so I have 3 pistols for us here today. All 3 of these are very similar, yet very different. So I have 2 M&P 2.0s and 1 Gen 4 Glock 19. So let's get into what is similar. So first and foremost, obviously these are all 3 striker fired pistols. So hate it or love it, the Glock is the gold standard for reliability these days. They're used worldwide by law enforcement agencies in the military, and they have that proverbial reputation that precedes them. The M&P might not be as popular and is universally recognized as the Glock, but they've been around for quite a while and have an awesome track record. So basically what I tell everyone is it comes down to user preference and how it feels in your hand and how you shoot it. So another similarity is all 3 of these pistols are chambered in 9mm. Some people are going to ask, why not 40 or 45? And my answer to that is, why? Bullet technology over the last 10 to 20 years has brought the 9mm up to the center stage. We have excellent terminal ballistics, lower recoil than a 40 or 45, and higher magazine capacities. So I personally shoot this 147 grain Federal HST in all of my 9mm handguns. So I've been a part of ballistic testing on this specific ammo on several different occasions where we pitted it against different other manufacturers, and I was always very impressed with how this HST ammo performed. And one more similarity between these 3 pistols is they are all wearing some sort of weapon mounted light, and they're all actually wearing a Streamlight light. So we have 2 TLR1 HLs, which is a 1000 lumen light that uses 2 CR123 batteries. And then the Glock 19 is wearing this little TLR7 compact light, and that is just for the primary reason that I also conceal carry this gun, and it keeps the profile down a little smaller than the TLR1. There's some great offerings out there by Surefire. I have no problem with those. Just be prepared to spend a lot more money than you would with the Streamlight. I've had tens of thousands of rounds through these Streamlights, and I've only had one breakage that I can remember, and that was the battery door at the rear. And even with the broken battery door, the light still performed. So Streamlight took care of that problem right away. They had great customer service. So I am a fan, and I think they're a great bang for the buck. All right, guys, so now we'll get into some of the differences. So obviously we have 2 different platforms here. We have the Glock platform and the M&P 2.0 platform. And like I mentioned before, it all comes down to user preference. So what you shoot better, what feels better in your hand, and what you're most comfortable with. Aside from that, both of these M&Ps have a little work done to them. They have Apex triggers installed, which cleans up a lot of the factory trigger, even though, in my opinion, the factory M&P trigger is not half bad. And they also have gunsmith fit Apex barrels. Both of these have been vetted fully. They have tens of thousands of rounds through them without a stoppage, and I completely trust them. So if you'll notice, they also both have magwells, which I don't necessarily use the magwell for speeding up my reloads per se, but I do like that lower index point that it gives me when I'm choking up on my grip on the pistol, and it seems to have a really nice effect on how I grip the pistol and control the recoil. A couple things that set this particular M&P apart from the rest of the pistols on the table are the 2 obvious things, and that's the red dot optic on top and then the compensator on the barrel. So a few years back, I had this Holosun 508T direct mounted to the slide. It's got full-size co-witness backup irons and a Parker Mountain Machine comp. So a lot of people look at this gun and say that this is a competition gun or whatnot, and I would say yes, that is the purpose that I built this for. However, I would have no issue using this in a self-defense situation or a home defense situation as it sits right here. This gun is incredibly accurate, reliable, and will do the work. And there's a lot of internet lore about shooting a comped or ported pistol in a low light situation, and people are saying that you're going to get blinded by it. And all I can say to that is I've done a lot of night shooting and a lot of low light shooting with different platforms, including comped and ported pistols, and I've never ever once been blinded to the point where I could not see my target. So another thing to kind of look at before we wrap this up is the sight configurations on these pistols. So I'm a huge proponent of blacked out rear iron sights. For the front sights, I generally like a blacked out sight like the one you see in the middle. However, I do also like to run the fiber optic sights. I found that those are nice for competition shooting in the daytime, and in nighttime and low light shooting, they don't distract you too much from the target, and you can still get a good sight picture when you're using a weapon mounted light. So staying with the topic of the sight configuration, you'll notice we have three different options for the front sights here. We have a fiber optic on the right, a blacked out iron sight in the middle, and then a tritium sight on the left. I'm not a huge fan of tritium sights. I just don't think they're necessary, especially if you're using a weapon mounted light to ID your target or threat. So obviously that doesn't illuminate your sights, but what it does allow you to do is allows you to see the outline of your sights against an illuminated target, and it allows you to properly identify your target. So in a stressful or self-defense situation, you're going to be mostly target or threat focused. So in my opinion, keeping things as simple and easy for your brain to process is better. And that allows you to make good decisions, and that's key. All right, guys, that about wraps it up for today. We could literally spend days on this topic and break down each of the reasons for each of the parts that I put on these pistols and the proper applications for them, concealed carry considerations, home defense considerations, and what other changes I would make on these pistols. But for now, I like the way all three of these pistols shoot. I wouldn't change a thing about them. They all run great, they're all reliable, and they're all very accurate. So hope you guys enjoyed this. If you like what you see, hit the like or subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.